Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back with a game on the brand spanking new patch. And oh boy, if you like bugs, you are in for a treat this week, my friends. There's more bugs here. You're gonna feel like you're living in fucking Asmongold's bedroom right now with the way the game is shaping up. Slugbait has been working his damnedest to get things in order, but there is still a lot of craziness going on. Now day one, so this is like day two, right, of the patch. Day one, it was like that. Day two, it's more like a garbage dump in terms of level of bugs, but there's still a lot of funny stuff going on. And so hopefully this game will go pretty smoothly. We've got aronxop playing full faction Kathir Forest versus Simplyspinach on full faction SL. Playing Draxars. Draxars are quickly shaping up to be one of the biggest hitters of the new patch. I've seen several people put them squarely in S tier. And so this was going to be a day one game, but again, just so much stuff was broke that I didn't want to risk it, like having to restart the commentary over and over. So I was like, we'll give it a day. Realistically, a week would have been preferable, but I know you guys wouldn't want to wait that long. You want games now. You want games yesterday. You want games from possibly all 7 commentators at once. How many people do we have uploading on the channel nowadays? I think it's like me. Gnome still does it sometimes. There's a Forg sometimes as well. Mostly me these days. But it's going to be battle. So this map is pretty interesting. The side fonts are fairly apart from the middle font action. Although sometimes if you get a fast champion like a bog hopper or a flyer, they can threaten side. Like the Forerunner, for example, would have been pretty great had... Oh no, wait, so Aaron does not have precision on the light. He has aim instead, which is still a counter-delusive. But yeah, Forerunner would have been a nice champ to throw into the side font. If Simplyspinach could get there. So we'll see how this shapes up. I'm curious to see all the new decks, all the new strategies that people have been throwing together. Dread has been a popular one among the FW player base, along with death benefit, like disease stuff with the new Carrion Colossus. I've seen some people tinkering with illusion decks using Aspect of Infinity, myself included. I've seen what else have I seen? I have seen quite a bit of Draxar, because Draxar are really good, and there's one of the new changes right there, Ambush. So forces 0s, ambush 4s, 5s. Yes, that is exactly what that spell does. So basically, it summons a Draxar footman if your target Draxar is engaged on the opponent's turn. So it will be a summon, but it does come in with upgrades. So it's it can be pretty nice reinforcements for the low price of 50 Nora. The Forerunner will go down to the Condor, though. That is a little bit of a wasted quest kill proc, but the stats are looking pretty juicy now. 17 damage, and the font will go over to Aaron. Yeah, the patch notes for this patch are some of the longest we've ever had, and the player numbers for the patch as well are some of the largest we've ever had. So I guess more people like more changes, or something to that effect. But Beast Lord going to presumably walk into the font, maybe grab the globe. Nah, he doesn't want to get double tapped by the light. So he's going to have the Footman reinforcements, Mr. Feetman, in that font. And I mean, dodge is useful versus the archers, and then I feel like there was the ambush changes weren't supposed to bring him in with upgrades, but I guess it's better that they do have upgrades, because without upgrades, he's just kind of a boring body with regen and violent. Dodge and damage shield gives him some utility in combat. And sort of like it really incentivizes now people to run like ritual abilities for this kind of targeted summon destruction, because of course the shatter summons won't be nearly enough to get through the footman's HP. Yeah, Judge Taurine is a new feature. So the main thing with this patch is that all of the aspects, all of the titans, and all of the ambassadors got changes in some way or another. Judge Taurine being one of them, of course. All of the ambassadors now have secure fonts back. All of the titans now have huge base damage, or just base stats, and you can only deploy them if you have 4 or more real champions in play, because otherwise they just explode on themselves and you waste like 120 Nora. So don't do that. Don't do what I could possibly have done first day. But yet they all seem very over the top and ridonkulous. So we'll see how things shape up. Carry On Colossus has already gotten nerfed. The others will potentially soon follow. I think the SP Titan is really busted. Speaking of ritual abilities, new Worm Priest. Worm Priest, he looks all right. You know, I'd probably go Sustain Berserker over Rage Potion. I think Rage Potion is one of the worst options when it comes to potions. It's 1 AP for +3 damage, basically inferior Contaminate. And speaking of Contaminate, the Doctor got a nice little buffage as well. Seems to be a great SL support champion. I don't think we'll see him this game in Draxar. But yeah, Worm Priest has Afflict now. He has Ritual, of course, and a Twisted Essence for some healing on top of your... You got Twisted Essence healing on top of your regen healing. So, you know, he brings some ult damage to the table. For 70 Nora, not a bad deal in my opinion. Sustained Berserker is nice, especially on a champion like Dreadnought, the SL Titan, because he has Unstoppable, doesn't lose AP to Careless. You can just throw that on there. And then you can do like, I think Rage Band. Does Rage Band still go Unstoppable? But yeah, I think it's melee champions gain Unstoppable from Rage Band. But another feature of this patch is that a lot of spells and a lot of equipment were changed in the works. So basically, the focus was less on champions this time around, although a lot of champions did still get changes. But that's why there were so many bugs. That spells, changing spells has not historically been very sound. Let's just say, because in terms of like coding work, it's definitely the largest. One of the larger. You need a lot more work to change spells, is what I'm trying to say, than changing champions. But Draxar Footman here, a real one this time, going to hop right on into that font. He went with Defensive Stance Rend on this one. So Dodge and Damage Shield are some of the upgrade choices, but I think Defensive Stance is okay, assuming you're absorbing a lot of hits. +3 defense on top of the SL bonus is nice. And then Dodge, like Damage Shield just seems, you can stack it pretty nicely with Cast, what is it, Blood of the Dragon, yeah. Cast Blood of the Dragon if you're running the High Priest, because that gives Damage Shield Acid 3, and then the Footmen have Damage Shield Physical 3, so some nice return damage there. Yeah, Defensive Stance is a little bit more consistent, because it works versus range and melee, and then, you know, Rend for some more damage. Yeah, coming in with reinforcement thanks to that Call to War, which Simplyspinach did. I only know that because Call to War doesn't actually have an animation or anything now. So I only know that because I was looking at the Rune Manager and I realized, oh, Call to War is 15 Nora now. It's the cheapest spell in the game. So it gives the next 3 Draxar regen, and damn, that Condor Fury just got judged to death. 50 fucking damage on that Condor Fury, and that was after a Blaspheme. So Blaspheme also the recipient of a nice little buff. So it gives a stack of Demoralize, the ability or the condition from Demoralizing Descant. For every Draxar you have in play, up to I think 5. There's some cap on it, but yeah. So Judgment gives is 10 loss of life per every condition removed, and with 5 stacks of Demoralized on there, that's 50 loss of life. The Condor Fury, very like Blaspheme is still super cheap. It's like 25 Nora still. So yeah, instant 1-tap there by the Judgment. So that takes care of him, and Simplyspinach will gain control of that font. What was I even talking about? There's so many changes to keep up with now. It was a spell. Oh yeah, Call to War. So Call to War now grants the next 3 Draxar Reinforcement 1 and 5 Nora less. So that was a cheap Footman, a super cheap Footman, and a super cheap Explorer as well. I would not expect to see Explorer in modern Draxar. I think he's kind of overshadowed by Forerunner, because Forerunner has 8 speed with Leap 3, Elusive. You can take Declare Target on him if you want. And Explorer is just kind of a guy with detection. He doesn't really do anything else. But he's cheap, so I guess that's that. Seems to be the theme of Simplyspinach's Draxar deck. Just cheap Draxar, spamming the shit out of him with, and then, the Judgment synergy. Judge Taurine is really nice. The other ambassador that looks really good now, or I guess they were all kind of good before, but Zedin of Sarnghaver looks really nice now that he has Conqueror. He can take Stone Clan, still on upgrades. And he just became a lot more streamlined. I think, what else? The ST didn't get that much better, I don't think. She lost, Shardseer lost Perseverance in the change, which I'm not that big a fan of. I think out of all the Protectorate factions, ST should have the most Perseverance. But for some reason, it's Kathir Forest. They have like 8 Perseverance champions now, which is a little ridiculous. So Queen Inaru here is moving in, not quite for a kill. She has 1 AP short. Is Aaron going to do Light as a Feather, maybe? For that 1 extra AP that Queen is missing? Oh, no, wait, she's melee now. Okay, so she couldn't have gotten that kill regardless. She's just moving up to say hello. Ambassadors meeting each other on the field of battle. Notably, Secure Fonts does come in on cooldown. So you can't just like drop an ambassador and then hop on into mid-font and grab it that way. The on-deploy Sermon with reinforcement is nice, and looks like Simply is running Cast Blood of the Dragon. So yeah, I guess definitely more incentive to take resist damage shield physical 3 over defensive stance here. Just to extra ward off melee. And yeah, Queen Inaru, I guess, did Aaron forget he upgraded Divert instead of Deflect? I guess he was hoping Deflect would save him, but definitely not. The Queen is going to be down to 4 HP after the Rend. And there's the Blood of the Dragon cast. So Worm Priest, being a little ballsy, hopping on into that font. That undefended font. I guess Solstice is here, but it's going to be, he's going to have to be forced back to defend. And unfortunately, Simplyspinach forgot about the Footman being a summon, so he is not in this font. And it gives Aaron control of mid. I mean, he takes the side, but I mean, if Aaron has the Nora, he can just drop like another Condor Fury here or something. Anything with initiative would be pretty bad because like Judge is dead regardless to this range in the back, and then you could probably kill one of these other guys as well. I don't know, SL bonus is kind of tough to get through sometimes, and then Sermon on top of that. High Priest has had Sermon for quite some time, but I think Drax are, well, I mean, they're a Phalanxy deck. They deserve the buffage that they get. But I don't know, it's a pretty strong buff. I think a lot of people, when it comes to Sermon champs, are a little too quick, in my opinion, to just whip out the book and start preaching. I think that's more of a Mormon thing than a Draxar thing. But yeah, I mean, High Priest, you can use him in combat still. Like, you can walk up, you can hit things. But the way Simplyspinach has upgraded him here, it looks like he's just going to be a passive buffer from the back. Favor, and then mutate for any new arrivals from that font. Yeah, if you ever deploy Vindrax also got a buff in this patch, by the way. If you deploy Vindrax, he becomes a decent combat piece. +1 speed, a little bulkier for the front lines. But looks like Aaron here only has the Nora for an Elven Tender, which, I mean, it's more range. It's kind of supporty, not really what you want here. But the blinding Radiant Blow will keep that Footman at bay for the time being. And the Shred defense as well from a Naru, lumbering the Explorer. I would probably favor Aaron's position just because he has this range. Like, this is a lot of ranged power in the back, and I mean, Simplyspinach's champions are blinded and they're dying to dots and everything this turn. There's another Call to War, so we're going to see some more quick reinforcements. And I think a lot of times Draxar, their weakness has basically been their ramp-up theme. Like, their racial is basically violent, so you really want to curve them into the mid-game and late game. But Call to War, and I think, what is that other one? It's not Thaw. But basically, you want to, like, Call to War is basically now you get a little bit of a refund from your Draxar reinforcement, brings everyone up. And so they have a much stronger, the way they transition into mid-game is made a lot smoother by the introduction of Call to War, the way it is. And, oh god, is he... Oh, please get in this font with the real Footman this time. Oh, no, I guess Explorer is there. I would have put Footman in the font instead. Explorer, I was hoping maybe could walk over this rock and somehow sneak up to topside. Yeah, so it looks like Explorer is going to bite the dust here. Aaron's going to get 2 hits, and then a 3rd hit from Deadly, and then the Elven Tender Ritual of Healing on the summon. A little bit unfortunate that. But Simplyspinach does have this side font contested. I don't think he wins that either, though. Like, the problem is the range here is so long. Like, Tracker can even swoop over and put the finishing touch onto that Worm Priest this turn, because he's going to get 2 hits here, Heart Strike, for some bonus damage, and that Worm Priest is dead. I wonder if there's like an Acid Trap in this font that will ruin the Solstice Marksman's day. That would be pretty funny. Acid Trap got a cost decrease with the patch as well. A lot of the changes with the patch have basically been Nora decreases, so spells got a little bit cheaper, some got a little bit more expensive. But stuff like Retreat, Gale Force, a whole bunch of them, like you can just... I'm not going to go through every single patch change, there's way too many for that. But it's all available on the Pox Nora homepage, or the Discord, if you are a member of the Discord, which you should be by now. If you've been watching this video for any length of time, you should know. Like, when sitting there wondering, ooh, I wonder what this game is, maybe I should go check it out. It's called Pox Nora, and the link for downloading the game is in the description, as well as the link for the Discord. Plenty of players are excited about the patch and will be willing to help out new players returning after a break. I know there have been a lot of you in the last few months that have returned and or started playing the game. We've even had what's the name of that guy on the Discord who just joined, and he was playing with his brother today. I forget his name, but you're out there. I know you are. Maybe potentially watching this video. But Grimlick's Bane here going down onto the Explorer, was that really necessary? I don't think it was. You had Light, you had the dots, and then an Aru, right? So you didn't really need that 40 Nora spell thrown on there. But alright, and he had more, like he could have used Light of the Circle to hit the Worm Priest with its second hit, instead of hitting this Footman, which didn't really accomplish much. Yeah, we're probably going to see Queen and Aru die here. To the Archer, 14, oh yeah, he's dead. He did. What was the divert on? Have we seen the divert yet, or have I missed it because I've been yapping about the patch? Probably, yeah. I missed so much stuff just because I'm yapping. But the DB here, this is going to be a huge turn. Worm Priest actually finishes that marksman off after the AP and the damage gain. And then Footman coming in here. Oh, is he gonna? What he should do? Okay, there's the divert. Wait, that was the divert. No, that was the defensive stance trigger. They have the same animation. But yeah, I was gonna say he should use that High Priest to swoop in there for the killing blow. You can always just put up Sermon again, right? You don't need to you don't just need to sit there the entire game. But Archer wisely grabs that globe. He does fork over the Inaru globe in the back, but that's okay. He gains control of this font. He gains control of the mid pretty well, because now, I mean, Aaron has no way. Like, he'd have to move his Light of the Circle over here, grab this globe and contest the font, but that would leave Deadly Tracker all alone in mid versus Archer, and potentially like another Quickening from Simplyspinach, or I don't know, maybe a Firestorm kill on the next turn. High Priest will be able to double tap, and then that'll be game. Like, there's no way for Aaron to come back from this, I don't think. Draconic Benediction, swinging game since 2006. I mean, that's a lot of Nora in these globes, to be fair. Maybe Aaron will have something like, I don't know, Vortex, this Archer? Nah, that wouldn't do anything. What new spells could he use to get himself out of this? Ooh, he could use Misdirection on one of his Archers and then sit in the font stealthed for a while. Misdirection got a really nice cost decrease with the patch. It's 20 Nora now for 6 turns of stealth and 3 illusions to get in the way. So we'll see what Aaron decides to do. I mean, honestly, best case scenario is grab the globe, kill this Worm Priest with the Tracker, get your font back, and potentially regroup with reinforcements from here. I mean, it's not over, I guess, but it's probably over. Let's be real. Games don't really get to this point without actually being over. And yeah, Simplyspinach made nice work of this one. Come on, Aaron, stop running out your turn. Don't you be a roper. We don't need more ropers on the Discord. Or in this game. Definitely not on the Discord. Please. Okay, he's moving. But yeah, I think in terms of ropers, we banned Akko Fire from the Discord, who is the most well-known roper. I'm pretty sure he's still playing the game. It's just he's not raving about it on the Discord anymore. But yeah, Dice Money does it sometimes. I actually got roped by Dice the other day, a little bit. And then who else? There's another good one. Sombra, maybe? After he starts losing, winning... No, I don't think winning number is really ropes. But yeah, the Worm Priest. So it looks like Aaron has decided to go with a variant of that. Like, he drops an elven statue in the font. A little bit of healing, that's alright. But yeah, Draxar, he forks over the globe to do that. Draxar Footman quickly nabs that for himself. Then another Call to War, yeah. So the thing with Call to War being 15 Nora is that it's not only really cheap, but it also has a really low cooldown, because cooldown is Nora cost divided by 5. So it has a 3-turn cooldown, and that lines up really nicely, because if you're deploying a champion every turn, by the time Call to War has worn off, because it's every, the next 3 Draxar, so if you're deploying a champion every turn, by the time the effect has worn off, it's already off cooldown, so you really only ever need to run 1. And basically all your Draxar will cost 5 Nora less for the rest of the game. I mean, the spell is 15 Nora itself, but who cares? You've got fucking Favor on your High Priest, making it 10 Nora. And there's another Blaspheme, so yeah, so basically you use this in the mid-game. If you don't have Judgment, if you're not running the Judgment combo, you use this when you got a bunch of Draxar out, and it completely neuters the champion's damage. Look at all this, -2 damage, -2 damage, -2 damage. Again and again and again and again and again and again, and then down to 4 damage on the tracker. So that plus the SL bonus, plus Defender and Enduring Aura on your Legionaries and shit. Very tough to counter this. Cleanse will, because Cleanse is capable of removing Demoralize. But other than that, I mean, you don't have many outs to that. Kind of have to be careful with giving SL too many of these kinds of effects, because it was a problem when Raven Speaker had Dread for the same reason. And it was a problem when Legionnaire had Enduring Aura 3. It was either 3 or 4, but yeah, we don't want, SL is naturally tanky and durable as it is. We don't need to give them minus damage on top of that. And funny enough, we've actually given them quite a bit in this patch. Taint now gives Mutation Horror, which will eventually give Dread to a Draxar. And then they've also got I guess you could run Horrific Mutation for Aura and plus defense as well. But Legionnaire did get a bit of a nerf, so it's a give and take here. And then Ranger Elite's not going to contest that font. She thought better of it. Wants to stay out of hit range for now. I was thinking maybe Ranger Elite can go in. Oh no, she doesn't have Archer. Ranger, well, you could do Balancing Act to give Evasive 3 here, right? But Draxar Archer, of course, has Precision, and then Legionnaire can hit from melee if he wants. Draxar Footman making his way top. He's got his eyes on that font. He wants it. He wants the banner. He's gonna make a mess out of it. This is the real one, by the way. This isn't the summon that got popped. He can contest here, and then Serpentor Paradigm zooming out of that font into Aaron's side again. There's a second Blaspheme on Ranger Elite. Yeah, so running these really cheapo spells with a Favor champion out just gets so much better. Iron Fist Minister has Favor as well. I'm not too big on spell spamming in my own games, but I think if you do choose to spell spam, you could do Favor, Undead Magister has Favor if you're running FW and you want to spam spells. Every faction has at least one good Favor champ. And then you could also do, if you want to be the opposite way, you could run a Council Spells champ and counter this, because every time, they gain Nora, or they cast a spell, you'll gain Nora from it. I had a game the other day where I had Nora Link, and the guy just kept casting spells, and Simplyspinach, takes the game, as expected. Spread Aaron a little bit too thin, so well played to both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.